I need a little bit more. So dramatic. What if you were not really lazy? You were simply mismatched. Okay, maybe you were lazy, but the rest of us, what if we were quite mismatched? So imagine this with me. It's in the 80s and 90s, and I'm the third most famous person in Soweto after Mandela in Tutu. Okay, maybe that's not true. But I'm known as that lazy guy. And not in the bad way in my community in Soweto, not in that bad way, not in condescending way, but in that way of, in communal communities, people have opinions about everything. Everybody's an aunt, everybody's an uncle, and they're in your business. And they're really in your business. You see, in our community, boys were just expected to know certain things. You must know how to play football, and I was quite decent at that. Don't look at the size. You're also expected to fix stuff. I don't know where they think we get this fixing stuff. Fix the tap, fix the barbed wire, fix relationships. Especially relationships in Soweto, they are a mess, Shem. And I was quite bad in this fixing stuff. I was really, really bad. And so people really called me lazy for most of the time in Soweto. Fast forward, I moved to Orange Farm to stay with my parents, also in the south of Johannesburg. Don't ask why I didn't stay with my parents in the first place. It's a long story. So I moved to stay with my parents, and the same story happened. My dad is quite worried about the fact that I just can't fix anything. In his mind, he had worked in factories all his life, and in his own world, men build stuff with their hands and they fix stuff with their hands. So he's panicking a bit about what will happen to this guy when I leave. So he tries to set me up for success, tries to teach me how to fix the car, fix the barbed wire, bleed the blades. You've never suffered until they made you bleed the blades. But I just failing at this thing, but he's panicking. Of course, he was gracious, but he used to exclaim and said, "Awuna zandla," which loosely translated means you don't have hands, but that's not really what it means. In our community, that means you are lazy. And I understand why, because he was worried what will happen to me. Because he is trying to set me up for success, but all I want is to talk. All I really wanted was to talk. And he was worried about me on whether I'd be able to make a living. But Dad, I'm at a TEDx stage right now. Looks like this talking thing is working, you know what I mean? So fast forward, I go to corporate, and the same story just repeats itself. I did relatively well in corporate for a while, but then I get this promotion, promoted into the head office. Everything looks right, the title is right, the business card is right, the car is right. That kind of car, when you come a car, they're like, "Hola, Spicho." Aye. So I'm enjoying that, but the job, I'm dying. It's a job that I really don't like. It's not sparking my imagination. And people start murmuring. The mamas in the office start saying, when people feel we don't seem aligned. Corporate speak for that one is lazy. And it was not working. And I really know it was not working. Because I was now having a job where I have to design frameworks the whole day, no client interactions, no talking. You can tell where this is going. I just want to talk. So I'm really, really struggling. Eventually, I go to my boss and say, you know what, I think this is not working. She agrees. In fact, she's relieved that I've seen it because she knows it, I know it, that this thing is not working. We both agree that since my performance is not too bad, I need to look at another position in the bank. I find one, and when I find that, I start flourishing. I even win those coveted Employee of the Year awards, or what they call Achievers List. You don't look like you'll ever win. No, not you, not you. Not you, not you, not you. So what if you were never really lazy, you were quite mismatched? Imagine this, same person, different environment. On this side, you are languishing, on the other, you are flourishing. What changed? The science of motivation tells us that for people to flourish in their roles, they need three main things. And this is by Ryan and Deci, and they develop what we call the self-determination theory, that for people to flourish, they need to feel competent. When you feel competent, you are excited to go to work. You even see it at the gym. When people know what they're doing, you can tell, Mara, this one knows. There's a certain bounce when you are competent, and a certain joy that is linked to competence. Secondly, it's autonomy. When you feel like you have autonomy in your work, that you don't have to be told about everything, you have a place for you to dance a little bit within guardrails, you are more motivated. And lastly, when you have relatedness or relationships, everyone wants to go to a place where you are known by your name, man. When you come in, they're like, oh my gosh. Come on, that feels good. And so when we don't have competence, autonomy, and relatedness, our passion stifles. So I want to ask, before you call people lazy, have you tried to design an environment that is conducive for them to shine? So if you are a leader, you are a teacher, you are a parent, I want you to think about these three things before you label that child, that employee, or anyone in your care lazy. Number one, I want you to please pause. Before you label them lazy, just pause. And after you pause and examine the environment, is the environment okay? Have we given them the tools to do what they need to do? Is the environment conducive, both physical and psychological environment? Because everyone wants to go to work to a place that looks nice, man. Where there is a possibility to bump into hot people like Spiwe. On a normal Tuesday, while you are walking, you're like, yay! Yeah, baby. Fire. Have we clarified the expectation that we have? Do you give them feedback? Have we given them skill? Examine the environment before you label them. And lastly, enable fit. If you have to shift them according to what they fit, please do that. But what if you are not a leader? But what if you are that person who feels misaligned right now? What should you do? I want to propose that you do these three things. Number one, acknowledge that this thing is not working, man. It's like when you're in a relationship, you know this thing is not working. You know, one of those relationships where you're like, I saw that you were quiet, I also kept quiet. The first step is to acknowledge that there is a problem. And the second step, then curate your fit. You don't have to work in an environment that kills your passion. Change something small. Sometimes a small shift can actually unleash motivation. And lastly, take action. If you realize that it's never going to work, plan your exit and create something that you want. Why? Because those who do not create the careers they want will have to endure the careers they get. So as we think about this, think about every situation that we're in and every person we are in and ask yourself, are they really lazy or are they just mismatched? So I know Dad was worried at that time, and I totally get it. I think of Dad in a very fond way because he wanted to set me up for success. But now I understand that Dad, maybe I couldn't fix a spanner, but I can fix cultures. Maybe I couldn't fix the carburetor, but I can ignite passion in other people and convince them that work does not have to be a drag.